안녕하세요 everyone. Welcome to my channel. I'm Stacey. Today I just wanted to take a few minutes to tell you what I'm going about with this channel. I'm Korean and I was raised in Korea, Japan, and the States, and I'm currently living in Seoul, Korea. My goal for this channel is to teach you Korean, Korean language, and share information about Korean culture. And if you ever plan to travel to Korea, the secret spots, the hidden gems that you can travel to, and just anything about Korean culture in general. And eventually, I'd like to hold some cultural events like language exchange in Korea. Or sometimes online too. So whatever seems appropriate or fun at the time. So let me just give you a little background of myself. When I first landed to the States, it was way before the breakout of Psy's Gangnam Style. So, when I go to school or anywhere, people would ask me, like, where are you from? And I'd say Korea. And their immediate following question was, North or South, right? So I would say South, and they're like, oh. Or they'll be like, oh, my grandpa fought in Korean War. That kind of thing. And there was not much more to say about where I was from after that, because a lot of people were either just not very interested about Korea, or they just didn't know a lot about Korea, right? So yeah, that was it. And I always, being raised in Korea and Japan, so like mainly Asian countries, I was always proud of my culture, but I was kind of shocked that Americans didn't know much about Korea. Well, now, of course, I know, I understand. It's not easy to know about like all the other countries in the world, right? But the fortunate thing was at my school at that time, we had this annual event, like Culture Day or something, where all the students had to pick one country, and like we would make a big board and like put on the costumes and make a presentation. We would invite the parents and the faculty members and everyone around, and just talk about whatever country you choose. So a lot of times people would choose, of course, like where they're from or where their roots are from. But for me, of course, I would choose Korea, and I would put on my cute little hanbok and like tell people about Korean history, culture, food, etc. So that always remains as like a fun, good memory for me. But nowadays, it's completely changed, as you probably all know. So now I don't have to go out and scream like, Korea is so cool, Korea is this, right? Because nowadays, a lot more people are interested, or they already know a lot more about Korea than before. So like it kind of feels surreal to me sometimes, because sometimes like I'd walk down the street and, or like waiting for an elevator or something, and like I would have a small talk with someone, like a stranger, and they'd be like, oh, where are you from? Or a lot of times I get, are you Korean? I get that a lot, especially like when I'm talking to a Korean friend or my family, like out on the street, like 99% of the times they'd be like, oh, are you Korean? And I'm like, oh yeah. And like they want to say something that they know in Korean. Like it's the simple things like 안녕하세요, or like 감사합니다, or Squid Game, that kind of things. So over the last years or decades, it was actually very interesting to see like the progress of the changes of people's thoughts on Korea or perspectives of Korea. And honestly, sometimes I think I would say I get some mixed feelings about that, but it's most of the times very happy and exciting. And the overwhelming feeling that I get, it's something people who have only lived in Korea will not relate to so much, because it's basically from my personal experience and feeling special after being abroad for so long and always feeling like an outsider for a long time when I was growing up. So now it brings out the memory, the good memory of that culture day I had back in the days at school. And it just got me thinking, oh, then maybe I can use my language expertise and my cultural background to talk about Korea and tell people more about not what you just see on YouTube or just like the outer glimpse of what's shown on media, but like the real Korea or like the natives' perspective of Korean culture kind of things. So I wanted to share this kind of information about Korea, the culture, and the language, like a dear Korean friend that you have online. So I have a lot of fun ideas for this channel, but I'll kind of just go with the flow instead of being very strict about, oh, I'm just going to do this, I'll be doing this, I'll be doing that next. No, I'm not going to do that. I'll just go with the flow and like see whatever you guys like or whatever you guys are curious about. Then I'll just try to give you that information or share with you and communicate with you. Okay? So if you have any inquiries or business proposals, please click the link down below in the pinned comment, and you can leave your contact info and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And I hope to see you guys around in the future videos often. So, annyeong for now.